Hello, my name is Jeff Heino, and I'm the Learning Technology Leader here at Oregon State University's Extension Service. And one of my duties is the administration of the Ask an Expert system in Oregon. And I want to say how delighted we are to have you, Master Gardeners, interested in becoming experts on our system. There are a lot of good reasons to get involved with Ask an Expert, and we'll be sharing those with you in just a few minutes. But again, I wanted to say that this is a rare opportunity to be able to engage with Oregonians throughout the state in answering their questions about gardening. Gardening is an extremely popular topic on Ask an Expert. So having as many experts as we can will help distribute that workload and I think distribute the fun. I think you'll find it an enjoyable experience. Ask an Expert is really a rare view of what Oregonians are thinking at any given time. And we're getting daily updates, hourly even, from these questions. So I'd like to invite you as new Master Gardener Ask an Expert trainees to take a look at a short video that will help you get sort of used to what the idea of Ask an Expert is. It'll be an overview and a chance to look a little bit more at why we're doing it. Then after the video, we're going to encourage you to go through the reading materials and get familiar with the actual online software. We'll be working with you live in McMinnville to help you do some hands-on work with this. But it's important that you have a chance to get familiar with what we call the Ask an Expert dashboard and a few other things. But watch this video first, and we'll be back with more ideas for you to do in a moment. Let's get started. In this short video, we're going to give you an overview of how Ask an Expert works. We'll talk a little bit about why we're using the system, and finish up with what makes a good answer. Ask an Expert is a semi-automated system to help Extension, faculty, staff, and volunteers like yourself respond to questions from the public in an efficient and responsive way. It's supported by e-Extension, a national online version of Extension. And Ask an Expert is available throughout the country. Ask an Expert allows us to continue to fulfill our service mission in answering questions from the public. It doesn't require as many resources, and it allows for sharing our expertise across counties and even state lines. We're engaging clients where they're increasingly found, which is online. And over 56% of the people who are sending us Ask an Expert questions have never used Extension before. It's a great welcome mat to the wonderful world of Extension and gardening. Ask an Expert really is a window on the needs of Oregonians. It's a snapshot at any given time of what questions are on people's minds, what problems they're trying to solve. This is important information for Extension to be able to be responsive. In a way, it's a great form of outreach and engagement. We provide science-based answers to the questions. It encourages two-way learning. They learn from us, but we can also learn from them. And it's a social media with lots of opportunities for interaction. It also gives us a chance to both share and create new scholarship to inform and educate Oregonians. It's nothing new, though. Extension has been answering questions for over 100 years. Ask an Expert is just a new way to continue to do what we do so well. It's really no surprise, but the majority of questions we're getting are regarding home horticulture. Roughly 2/3 of them, and this is a national trend. And we get questions on all sorts of topics in gardening and related issues. So who's asking these questions? In a survey conducted in 2011, we found out that the average Ask an Expert customer is female, aged 50 to 64, white, highly educated, and with a higher income. So how does Ask an Expert work? Let's take a look. Oregon has implemented Ask an Expert in a unique and powerful way. Let's take a look step by step. Customers who visit Extension websites will find Ask an Expert as one of the links on the page. Clicking that link, they're taken to the widget, which is a form they fill out to submit their questions. They indicate their location. They can also upload images to support their question. They provide us their email, but that email is not public and is securely stored in the Ask an Expert system. All Ask an Expert questions are anonymous. The questions then are wrangled by OSU question monitors. Our question monitors represent our major program areas in Extension. They sort through the questions and watch for the ones in their area. Then they tag them, that is, categorize them, and route the questions to the appropriate experts based on the expert location, the tags the expert has indicated are their areas of expertise, and whether or not they're available. The experts receive an email alerting them that a question is waiting for their answer. They give their response online within the Ask an Expert system. The system then automatically emails a notification to the customer. That email then links the customer back to the Ask an Expert system to take a look at the answer. They can send follow-up questions if they wish. And 2 weeks later, we send them a survey to see how we did. The system is unique in that it provides a powerful way of linking people together using technology, but still counting on that person-to-person exchange of information. We have over 200 experts that are active in the system, and more than 40 of them are master gardeners. Last year, we answered over 3,200 questions, but it looks like we'll probably double that this year. Take a look at this graph. Why do you think we have more questions in June, July, and August, and fewer in November, December, and January? Well, that's because, as we stated, over 70% of the questions are about gardening. And this graph pretty much looks just like the activity level of a gardener. Let's talk about answering questions. So what makes a good answer? Accuracy, of course. You'll want to make sure your answers are science-based, and you may want to check your answer with other experts if you're unsure. Be brief, but thorough. You can include supporting resources, publications, and links to other websites. It's also friendly for search engines, what we call good Google juice. Timeliness is important. Typically, client satisfaction drops off after about 48 hours, so it's best to try to answer it within 2 working days. Now, there are tough questions. These include questions that come from outside of our state. There are questions that sometimes are really emergencies. Others seem to go on and on. There are great questions. Is this a question about forestry or about urban trees, for example? High-profile questions. We might get a question from a reporter or a legislator. And it's always a kick to get funny questions. Here's an example of an emergency question that caused quite a stir. It said, "My boyfriend just ate some berries growing in the garden. Now he has an upset stomach." Luckily, the customer had included their phone number, so we called them immediately and recommended they contact their local poison information center. Then we posted an answer on Ask an Expert on how to identify dangerous berries. We also decided to revise our pamphlet on berries based on this question. That generated a press release. The press release got picked up by 2 TV stations who went out and did stories about dangerous berries in gardens. This shows you just how powerful Ask an Expert can be in generating new educational opportunities and allowing OSU to do a better job. Let's talk a little bit about question etiquette. When you're answering questions, be careful of what we call poaching. That is, someone has been assigned a question and going in and snagging it before they've had an opportunity to answer it. Doing that lowers the response rate, and it can be aggravating. So don't take a question away from someone who's already working on it. Wait 2 hours if it's on hold. Scrolling down on the question will reveal a history showing how the question's been routed and how many experts have had a chance to touch it and perhaps pass it on. This will give you valuable information, about how you might proceed on a question that seems to be stuck. You can also add comments to that history and send emails to other experts to get their input on status if you need to. Lastly, play nice and have fun. It's all about having a chance to share expertise and allow others to get the satisfaction of doing the same. So that's an overview of Ask an Expert. Now it's your turn to get familiar with the actual software. Don't worry, it's not difficult, and we think you'll have a lot of fun.